Hi, I'm Sonam Srivastav, Director Brand Management at Seagull Advertising. There is a set of working professionals who doesn't work 9 to 5, who cannot work from home. They most definitely can't apply for sick leaves, and most of the leaves can get cancelled right after sitting with a family dinner after being away for months. Of course, I am talking about the Defense Forces personnel. We can spot them from afar because of the uniform that they wear, because of the Vardi that they wear. And our guest today has found a way to keep that tradition alive, to keep that valor alive. I welcome Mr. Rohit Chinchanikar, the owner of the Vardi Store. Rohit, I welcome you to the Cheers to Ideas podcast. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking out time.
Thank you very much, Sonam. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. Can we start with your story? Tell us about yourself.
Sure. I'm the founder of Vardi Store, which is India's military upcycling store. So, we upcycle old defense uniforms into meaningful products like bags, caps, and jackets. To tell you a little bit in terms of upcycling, or else, even the inception of this thought, about a couple of years ago, I was sitting with my father. My father was from the army, my grandfather was from the Air Force. I was sitting with my father and he asked me to go to his cupboard and get something. So I ran upstairs and I got that thing for him. But when I opened the cupboard, I saw my grandfather's Air Force coat. I came downstairs and then I asked my father, saying, well, I saw Dadaji's Air Force coat. Where's your army coat gone? He said, you know what, Rohit, I'd kept it for so many years and then it just self-decayed. Then I said, okay, fine, but that probably might have been one pair or two pairs. But you served for so many years, I'm sure you might have had a bunch of uniforms with you. What did you do with those? Then he casually told me, well, you know what, once they would get old, we would just pour petrol or kerosene on it and then just burn it away. I was astonished when I heard that. And that's when I asked my father, saying, why is it that you guys would do that? That's when he told me, saying, well, you know what, Rohit, that's a piece of cloth which you can't throw it away anywhere. Like, for example, we talk about regular clothes that we wear. Once they get old, we give it to our maid, or we give it to a watchman, or we give it to a driver, correct? Or else we just throw it in the dump. But that's a piece of cloth which can't be thrown away anywhere. Hence, that piece of cloth needs to be destroyed. Right. Now, that struck a chord in me, and I started thinking, well, that's a problem statement, because that same piece of cloth or that same vardi, which was earned through sweat and blood, and when they wore it for the first time, there was so much of pride in terms of wearing that. But unfortunately, when it's old, it's not gracefully disposed of. So that was the question which popped up in my head. And a couple of days after that, I was just online on Facebook or Instagram, and then I came across articles in terms of recycling of clothing. So I thought that, I thought of connecting the dots, that would it be possible in terms of procuring these old defense uniforms and making products out of them. So that was the inception in terms of Vardi.
Great, great. So Rohit, which was the first product that you created and who was the first buyer?
So the first product that we created was a bag. And of course, my first buyer was my mom. Right. Every mother supports its child. Right. So yeah, my first buyer was my mom.
Oh, superb.
Yes.
Does she still use the bag?
Yes, she does.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, she does.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. So Rohit, this is a very purpose-driven brand.
Yes.
It is an extremely emotional brand for the citizens of the country. Where did you get the inspiration from? I mean, I know you told the story as to how did you think about it. But as an entrepreneur, as somebody who has to lead an idea, also needs that fire in him. So how do you, day after day, how do you take this brand ahead? How are you handling things? Because there are many other things that are related for an idea to, manifest.
Correct.
And for that idea to remain alive forever, because a brand has to be forever. It has to connect to people generations after generations. So how do you go on about doing that? How do you keep yourself passionate about what Vardi is about?
So talking about the fire in the belly, that has always been there, and I'm sure that it'll always be there. But as I said, that my father was from the army, my grandfather was from the Air Force, so of course, wo fauji khoon to hai hi,
Right.
I always wanted to join the forces, but of course, due to certain reasons, I could not. And I thought that when I came up with this idea, why not create meaningful products out of these beautiful uniforms. I thought that this was my chance to get associated with the army or do something for them by solving a little problem. And of course, my biggest, the most passionate thing about what I'm doing is that at such a large scale, there's nobody in the country that is doing it at such kind of a large scale. Talking about upcycling of uniforms, it's not new, because my grandfather, when during 1960s and stuff like that, even when he would have his old uniforms, he would cut them and make these little bags out of it, make thailis out of it, like to go and get vegetables from.
Right.
So this is a tradition which a lot of Fauji families have had since decades. If you come across any Fauji families who basically lived through the 60s and 70s,
Right.
this has always been the tradition, that out of old cloth or out of old like uniforms, they would make these thailis out of it, and then those would be used in terms of vegetables or to buy things and all like that. But that was a very household thing.
Yeah.
And I thought of taking it to the next level, and making some amazing products out of them, making bags and caps and jackets.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fire in the belly was, of course, taking it to the next level, and taking it to the next level. I mean, me doing something that like not too many people in the country are doing.
Correct.
I mean, less than a handful of people probably might be doing what I'm doing. So that was the fire in the belly.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So Rohit, while you might be working on Vardi and as to how can you develop it and how can you grow the brand, are there any benchmarks that were there in your mind, or are there any similar brands who are really purpose driven, who are really kind of keeping a piece of tradition alive or keeping a piece of history alive? Have you come across any other brand which is very similar? It might be Indian or it might be a global brand. Is there any other?
So, well, I don't mean to digress from the topic, but certain things that I want to tell you is that we at Vardi, we did not really have any brand to look up to or follow their footsteps. Correct. Like for example, an IT company would always look up to a Infosys or a TCS or a Persistent Technologies to follow their footsteps. So we at Vardi, every day, we're setting up SOPs, every day, because, and of course, since we're working closely, with the army in terms of collection of uniforms, whether it is like retired soldiers or whether it is serving, when we get uniforms from army units. So they are also doing it for the first time, correct? So, we unfortunately, unfortunately, we did not quite have a company to look up to, but I think that's the beauty of it, right? Because it's a clean slate.
Yeah.
It's a clean slate. You can draw whatever you want to draw, correct? So I think that's the beauty of it. Of course, in terms of, have I come across brands who have done similar things? We've all seen the bike which was made out of the Vikrant, INS Vikrant, right? So because that talked about sustainability,
Yes.
and that talked about patriotism as well, So of course, that's the only brand or the product that I can think of in the country, which has preserved a piece of history.
Right.
Yeah.
So Rohit, of course, today, as far as I know, you are a one-man army running Vardi. But going forward, and we wish so that it becomes a very, very big brand. It grows into being a large institution. How do you see the team coming together for Vardi? Because like we discussed, it is a purpose-driven brand. It has a very keen emotion behind it. And when you work on a purpose and not just on a product or a service, you need those kind of mindsets to come together.
Correct.
So how do you see your team coming together? How do you see that? Where will you find those people? How will you find those people?
Correct. So as I said that, the most beautiful part about Vardi is that it's a clean slate. Correct. So every day there's something new. Every day there's something new to learn. Now, how do we plan to put together a team? Let me just take you back a couple of years ago. When I started off, of course, it was me doing it by myself.
Right.
I was working with a crowdfunding platform prior to that, where I managed their pan-India team. I was assistant vice president for the company. I had a lovely life. I had a lovely paycheck, a lot of job satisfaction.
Yeah.
But then when I came across this thought that, of upcycling or military uniforms, it took me almost a year and a half for me to convince my boss that I want to quit and I want to start something else. So when I quit my previous company and I started off with Vardi, I didn't have any co-founder. I did not have a team to begin with. And as I said that, there were no SOPs to begin with or any company's footsteps to follow. Okay, you know what? This is the way to do it. So I did it by myself for 2 years, where I would go and collect uniforms, put uniforms in a sack, put the sack on my bag and then bring it at home, and, carry it upstairs, 4 floors upstairs. My building did not have a elevator. I carried tons of uniforms upstairs, and then I would sort out uniforms and, find out which are the best of the best ones.
Wow.
And then take it to our partners in terms of manufacturing, whether it's a bag or whether it's a cap or whether it's a jacket, get those things manufactured and then bring it back at home and then create the website. The first website that was made was completely made by me. I am not a web designer. But I created that particular website. Of course, it was very, very amateur, it was very, very primitive rather. But I did not have a team. I was selling it by myself.
Yeah.
For 2.5 years, I did not have a team. But then now, because of my recent break, which was on Hotstar, I could secure my first round of funding, and I put together a team. So my team is just about a month and a half old, but it has been an amazing struggle.
Wow.
And I just believe that when you have that fire in the belly, and when you're focused, you got to keep your eyes on the prize.
Right.
There's something that I always keep on saying, that it's like Arjuna and Dronacharya, right?
Right.
When Dronacharya asked Arjuna, "What do you see?" He said that he sees the parrot's eye and nothing else in between. So I believe that as an entrepreneur, if you are focused on what you want to do, it doesn't matter who's standing with you or it doesn't matter who's not standing with you. You have to go ahead and achieve what you've set out to.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, my team is about a month and a half old now. How do I plan to build the team forward? Firstly, I believe that Vardi as a brand, I believe that the brand belongs to the nation. It belongs to the soldiers. So I've had a lot of Fauji wives who are fashion designers, who basically reached out to me, and they have said, well, you know what, Rohit, we can help you design stuff. So we are now in talks with them in terms of creating designs for us, and it doesn't matter if that even if they are posted somewhere else, right? So
Correct,
we don't need to meet physically.
Absolutely.
But so that is how we're in talks with them in terms of designing.
Wow.
Then something that we're in talks with right now is to employ the wives of the unfortunate disabled soldiers. So either they've been injured during war or peacetime. So we're trying to employ them in terms of production of these particular products. Whether it is unstitching of uniforms or whether it is cutting of uniforms, all of that. So that is how I see us giving back also, and plus the team increasing. And of course, because if we are going to be working with working with people from the 4G fraternity
Right.
itself, there will be a lot of ideas that will be shared. Like, for example, the bags that are made far east, correct? Those bags are going to be, they are going to have a different design.
Absolutely.
Correct? So imagine making a Vardi design which is inspired by a Assamese collection. Correct? That's going to be different.
Correct. Yeah.
Imagine a Vardi bag which is designed in like Rajasthan. Correct? So it will have camouflage, but it probably might have block prints on it.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So such kind of cross state selling, correct, and different designs. Hence I keep on saying that I believe that Vardi is a brand that belongs to the nation. Like whoever wants to add value to it in a good way, they are welcome to come and join.
True.
Of course, I mean, it all depends on a lot of things, but yeah, so that's how I see the team size growing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And like you said, our nation is so huge. It has so many variety of ethnicity that we have, the design language that we have. I mean, I think every state we travel,
Correct.
it changes, right?
Correct.
And it is unique in itself.
Correct.
So I'm sure a collab of that tradition with this tradition will be like a great thing
Very
that
different.
can happen.
Yes.
Great. So Rohit, we in our business say that any idea that makes you uncomfortable is an idea that will soar. Basically, because it is so unheard of, it is so undone that people really get, kind of taken aback that can this really work? Was there anything while working on Vardi that made you uncomfortable, which may have put you in doubt at times, that, okay, can we go ahead? Can we not go ahead? Was there any moment that came across?
There was nothing that made me feel uncomfortable. But of course, as I mentioned that, this is something which at such kind of a large scale, nobody had done. So, of course, I was in a doubt that, will I get uniforms? Will the soldiers have faith in me in terms of collecting or in terms of giving their old uniforms, and then, me finding manufacturers or me trying to manufacture it in-house. Of course, that's a part of the business, but the biggest doubt was that nobody has done it at such a big scale.
True.
Correct?
True.
Will it happen or will it not happen? But I just wanted to do it because I didn't want to turn 50 years old and then think, "Yare, nahi, wo ek idea aaya tha. I should have taken it forward." Take it forward. If you fail, you fail, but you failed because even if you fail, after you've given it 100%, right? So you'll be satisfied. Okay, fine. I tried, but I failed.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So we also believe in one more thing, Rohit, that every business deserves to fly. But of course, it needs certain kind of partnerships, a good team, and obviously a vision so that it can fly. Where do you think your business is, and where is it that you want to take it? I mean, when will you say that, okay, now Vardi is flying?
Right. So when I talk about Vardi, I would say that, there are three main pillars to it. Or probably the fourth one could be me. So, but the three main pillars which I would talk about it is that our goal is to spread patriotism.
Correct.
Through sustainability and giving back, which is charity. Correct? Yeah. When you talk about the camouflage, you think about the army. Correct?
Correct.
And when you think about the army, everybody has a soft corner for the army. Correct?
Right.
Your gender doesn't matter, your religion doesn't matter, your state doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Correct? Because it is because of them that, we are free here. Correct? And freedom comes for a price.
Right.
So, we want to, talk more about patriotism. We want to talk about sustainability, because sustainability is definitely the need of the hour, because we've been seeing the air quality index, that is the most talked about thing right now. So sustainability is a very big factor. And third thing is the charity angle, which is where, Vardi has pledged with this institute, which is called as QMTI, which is Queen Mary's Technical Institute, which is based out of Pune itself. It's a it's the only technical institute in the country that looks after welfare of disabled soldiers. So that's a community of disabled soldiers, and where they come to get technical education, whether it's a bachelor's degree or whether it's a master's degree or whether it's a course in a startup or digital marketing or sales or whatever it is. That's where they come to get technical education. So every product that is bought or sold, okay, in terms of Vardi, a part of the purchase gets donated towards the welfare of disabled soldiers. So every month, at the end of the month, we see our sales sheet, and a fixed percentage of that is donated by the first week to QMTI. So these are the three main pillars in terms of Vardi. And where do I see the business go? Of course, I see it grow in all these three aspects, because of course patriotism is on the rise. There are a lot more people who want to join the army, who want to join the Air Force, who want to join the Navy, aspirants, correct? There are so many patriotic movies coming out right now. So patriotism is definitely on the rise. People are wanting to join. There are so many aspirants out there. And sustainability, as I said, that Gen Z today talks more about sustainability than what we did. Like, for example, when we were kids during Diwali, we would burst fireworks and all without even thinking twice. But these days kids, they themselves say saying कि नहीं हमको दिवाली में फटाका नहीं फोड़ना है क्योंकि उससे pollution होता है. We never thought of that.
They're quite aware.
Correct. So times change, correct, and we have to change according to times, correct. So sustainability has got to be there, and charity, of course. This is my personal belief that every brand has a power. Every brand has the power to give back. You should give back. You should give back in some way or the other, whichever cause that you are close to. Whether it's the cause of education, or whether it's the cause of healthcare, or whether it's the cause in terms of disabled soldiers or blind people, or whatever cause. But I believe that a brand should not only be talking about sales and profits, and that's what we do at Vardi. We don't talk about sales and profits. We don't go and tell our customers saying, well, you know what, this design is the best. No, we talk about patriotism. We talk about sustainability. We talk about giving back, correct? So that's what I believe, that every brand in the country which has the power should definitely give back. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So like we have the tricolor, you have three pillars.
Yeah.
Right? Great. So Rohit, you deal with these uniforms in and out, right? And needless to say that they carry an emotional weight, they carry a sacredness. What are the practices that you follow when you are in the process of making your products?
Got it. So firstly, when we collect these old uniforms, instructions have been passed that uniforms need to be washed and ironed, and only then they will be collected, you know. And of course, when we're talking about the defense forces, when we think of discipline, we think of the defense forces, correct?
Absolutely.
When we think of discipline, we think of the army, or we think of the Air Force, or we think of the Navy.
Yes.
So it's a very disciplined way in which these uniforms come to us, correct? It's not like a laundry bag types, where badan se utar diya or nikal diya, or, so they come to us in a very, very respectable manner.
Right.
Of course, we don't take caps, we don't take belts, and we don't take shoes. Now, once these uniforms come to us, they are again washed, and then they are cut into pieces of whichever product that they're going to be made out of. Whether it's a cap, it will be cut into a cap shape. Whether it's a bag, it will be cut into a bag shape, or whether it's a hoodie or a jacket, it will be cut into that kind of a shape.
Right.
Now, of course, there are certain guidelines that we also follow, is that we don't want to make anything which is under the belt. Like for example, we will never ever make a doormat, because we have to maintain that particular respect, right? It should not touch your feet. We will never ever make shoes out of it. Like I've had people tell me, saying, Rohit, this cloth is really good. Why don't you make some canvas shoes out of it? I said, well, that's a good idea, but I will never do it. You know, I would probably go and buy some fresh cloth from outside there and create a pair of shoes. But these are certain guidelines that, you know, we at Vardi follow, you know, where we would not make any product, you know, which below the belt, or, you know, which will not keep the respect of the uniform.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Were you at any time skeptical about the acceptance or the perception of the brand?
Never. To
Great.
answer that in one
Great. No,
word,
that's a
never.
great answer. That shows how clear you are
Yeah.
of the idea that
Yeah.
you've come up with. Great. One last and a personal question, Rohit.
Yeah.
If Rohit was not doing Vardi today, what he would be doing?
I would be in the army.
Oh, superb. Great. You would be serving the nation then.
Yeah. So that's how I believe that through this particular venture, in a tiny bit of a manner, that I'm able to contribute a little bit towards the nation.
Great. Thank you so much, Rohit. I could go on and on about this wonderful idea that you've come up with, but we need to kind of cut the
Awesome.
podcast short.
Awesome.
Very glad and very grateful that you could take out time. In fact, it is more about your mindset and your outlook. I think that you have been able to come up with such a great and such a purposeful idea. Many come up with such ideas, but not many can sustain it, because of course it requires that fire in the belly that we were discussing.
Correct.
So thank you once again to be on the podcast, and we may continue maybe offline our conversation.
Awesome. Thank you, Sonam, very much for having me here, and thank you very much to Seagull.
You are most
Thanks.
welcome. You are most
Jai
welcome.
Hind.
Jai Hind.
Cheers.
So that was Rohit, the owner, the founder of a very purposeful brand, the Vardi. It is not just a uniform, it is a physical commitment of duty, sacrifice, and commitment. So next time, when you want to wear your patriotism, you know where to go. Thank you so much.
Cheers to ideas.